Okay, so originally, this video was supposed to be the entirety of Epic the Musical, but I decided to make it like one entire, video of just the Troy Saga. So, yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. So, like, you see bits and pieces of what I'm talking about, like, oh yeah, we're gonna go over the entire musical, just now. We're not. That was like the old poll. I cut out some polls, but I didn't cut out all of it, so, yeah, bye. The fourth song of Epic the Musical introduces us to a Greek, soldier and a bunch of his men named Odysseus. They are currently raiding the city of Troy. This, musical is based off Homer's Odyssey, in which, if you don't know, is about a character named Odysseus trying to get back to his wife Penelope. He's been at this journey for 10 years at this point, and will be on it for much longer as the musical goes on. But the fourth song basically introduces us to the plot of the story and kind of what's happening at the beginning of the Troy Saga. So they are raiding a city called Troy to basically sack it and get kind of enough resources to get back to their home, so they don't die of hunger and stuff, and also to end the Trojan War, which they finished this by using the Trojan horse. The Trojan horse was a gift to the Trojans at first. Well, it was supposed to be. Well, they made it out to be, but secretly there was a bunch of men inside it, getting prepared to raid and sack Troy. As the whole entire group and all of Odysseus's soldiers are going across, just in completely sacking and raiding the entire city of Troy, Odysseus climbs up to the wall to the main palace until he's suddenly stabbed. Well, not really, but you'll see.
Who was that? A vision of what is to come cannot be outrun, can only be dealt with right here and now.
Zeus, king of the gods, randomly appears to tell Odysseus what he has to do and how he's supposed to, basically the last thing he has to do to successfully sack the city of Troy, as basically he has to kill the prince's son. As he's going in, he notices it's just a baby, an infant, one who seems to be barely months old, maybe even a year. Odysseus wonders what kind of threat this boy can oppose, since he's obviously just some, random boy. What could he do? As Zeus warns him, after Odysseus would kill his entire family, he would come back for revenge on him, and no matter what scenario, if he wasn't dead, Odysseus' future would be ruined with his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus. Odysseus tries to come up with any other outcome to fix this, as he doesn't want to kill this infant that just merely has done nothing wrong. He suggests bringing it home, basically everything he can, any other option other than killing him. But the truth is, Zeus knows that Odysseus is so far in the journey not that big. He seems to be more of a sympathetic person. So Zeus convinces him on why. And then eventually he leaves, leaving Odysseus to himself to realize that he's just a man. No meal, anything more, but just a man. Odysseus sees the baby and reminds him of his son Telemachus, who he only knows as a baby, as he was just an infant when he left for the Trojan War. He has a whole monologue about where he's just a man and how he kind of doesn't know if he should make this decision. And throughout the song, we see him kind of giving us the plot of what's gonna kind of happen in the entire story. And we see him about to do it sometimes, but then kind of go back, seeing kind of like him going back on his decisions and then going, kind of what I mean. Basically, we kind of get to see what Odysseus is trying to do better in this song. We see his main goals and his objectives a lot better in this song than the first one, and in the next song, we'll just see it even better. Odysseus gives this line: when does a comet become a meteor? When does the reason become the blame? When does a man become a monster? This one line will alter the entire rest of this music, as it will show two sides of Odysseus, in which we'll get to later in Song 4, Open Rooms. But right now, we're not really going to talk about that, as right now we're seeing the more sympathetic and reasonable side. But as Odysseus talks to himself and thinks about it for a long time, he eventually comes to terms as he walks out, seeing all of his crew right next to him, with the baby holding him by the ledge, as he, drops the baby, killing it. We are now on to Song 3, Full Speed Ahead. And in this song, we get introduced to the three main characters. The three main characters for most of Act 1. Introducing Eurylochus, Odysseus, and Polites. Polites totally gets a lot of screen time in the entirety of the show and Act 1. Please trust me, guys, I swear. This is also the song where we get to see some instruments. Now, I don't remember nor know if Polites has an instrument, but I know Eurylochus and Odysseus definitely do. So, starting off with Odysseus, since he's the main character, his main instrument is the guitar. There's many types of guitars for the type of moment he's in. In this song, we mostly hear the electric guitar towards the end, because he kind of gets in this ruthlessness mindset, where if they're not back by the next day, then they'll burn the whole entire place down. And then the Eurylochus, the second in command, his instrument is the crew, in which we'll see why his instrument is the crew more later. And we see a lot more of why Odysseus is in his journey in this song, explaining a little bit more why he's trying to get to Penelope and Telemachus, and also introducing us to his crew and his crewmates, introducing us to I keep on messing that up. I mean Polites, and then basically that's kind of the whole thing for this song. Another reason why I think this is such a good song is because this sets up a lot of this story and a lot of the stuff we're gonna see.
I say we strike first, we don't have time to waste, so let's raid the place and
considering it shows the whole monster and open arms type of thing that you see throughout the whole entire show.
We should try to
this song is also important because it gives us looks at the characters, why those characters doing some of the characters' motivations and the characters' instruments, which indicate what kind of their personality is like, with either a more aggressive instrument or a more light instrument, or maybe a more aggressive instrument could be for like kind of big character, where the more light instruments could be for kind of weaker characters who are story focused. Going into the next song, Open Arms. In this song, we get introduced further to the character of Polites, seeing what his intentions and his morals are. We learn that Polites is much more of a sympathetic and pacifist type of character. You see, in Epic, you can it seems kind of like in Undertale, where you can take the genocide or pacifist route. Polites would definitely choose the pacifist route, kind of. Anyway, this is where the song where is, oh my god. This song is actually very important for the story of Act 1, in which this is where Odysseus' other, personality kicks in until the very last song of Act 1. This song is where Polites tries to grant a new idea that we kind of have seen, but seen into further to Odysseus. Instead of being a more blunt and kind of aggressive character, Polites is a lot more of a light and sympathetic character, in which seeing his morals is, it seems like nobody deserves to die and everybody has like a second chance kind of thing. This will eventually lead to something in the next saga, but we don't have to talk about that yet. But eventually Odysseus and Polites get surrounded by these weird creatures that are called Lotus Eaters. They give him, after they ask for something, I forgot what exactly they asked for, the Lotus Eaters eventually gave them, their fruit, but Odysseus noticed something wrong about this. They have lotus seeds. Lotus seeds are something that if you bite into it, then basically it controls your mind forever and you'll become like a puppet, kind of. Odysseus tells Polites this, but Polites come up with, little thing, as Polites asks them for ways of other food, as the Lotus Eaters tell them a cave. So they head to this cave, and Polites kind of tells them, is basically like, see, this Open Arms is good or whatever. Yeah. So that's basically song for Open Arms. And leading into the next song, Warrior of the Mind. Odysseus suddenly gets transferred into his mind as we get introduced to Athena, the second god we get introduced to. This song, we get to see a little bit into Odysseus' backstory, which is really the only song we get to see into Odysseus' backstory. In this song, we find out that Odysseus is the warrior of the mind. So, you might be wondering, how is he the warrior of the mind and, what's his backstory? Well, to explain it, Odysseus, actually was childhood friends with, Polites and Eurylochus, which Eurylochus is a second in command, and Polites is, Odysseus' best friend, basically, in the musical. So one day, Odysseus sought out to, find a bull with, Eurylochus and Polites. As they all go against the bull, they eventually beat the bull. As Odysseus finds himself alone, he, actually don't know how he did this, but he somehow took a gamble, and he was right somehow.
Show yourself. I know you're watching me. Show yourself. I can see you.
How can you see through my spell?
I was lying, and you fell for my bluff.
Well done, enlighten me, what's your name?
You first, and maybe I'll do the same.
Nice try, but two can play this game.
Nah, don't be modest. I know you're a goddess, so let's be honest, you are a...
Odysseus somehow knew that someone was watching him, but he didn't actually know that someone was watching him. And you can see in this animatic that, Wolfie did, he is terrified when he, finds out that, someone actually is watching him. He was just bluffing and somehow was right. I don't know how this man guessed it. He was really just gambling, but still. So Athena, turns out, was watching Odysseus to see if he was a good fit for Warrior of the Mind, since he was able to defeat the bull that Athena sent out. And what that turns out, that was a magical bull that Athena created for someone to defeat and maybe become the Warrior of the Mind that Athena has basically focused her whole life on finding. And also, a lot of stuff happened in this song, as we get to see who Athena is, what she's trying to do, also Odysseus' backstory, which is good to know. Anyway, on to the next saga and song, Polyphemus.